A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The 72 disciples returned rejoicing and said to Jesus, "Lord, even the demons are subject to us because of your name." Jesus said, "I have observed Satan fall like lightning from the sky. Behold, I have given you the power to tread upon serpents and scorpions, and upon the full force of the enemy, and nothing will harm you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice because the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice because your names are written in heaven." At that very moment, he rejoiced in the Holy Spirit and said, "I give you praise, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. For although you've hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the childlike. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and who the Father is except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him." Turning to the disciples in private, he said, "Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you, many prophets and kings desired to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it." The Gospel of the Lord. Let us talk about us today. No matter where you go in the world, no matter what you study in history, you're going to run into the reality that is the Catholic Church. So you can go to Paris, you can go to Jerusalem, Rome, you can go to the Sudan, Mexico City, Manila, anywhere. And you're going to run into Catholics. You're going to run into our beautiful churches and even our cathedrals. So you'll walk in and you'll see the lofty heights that remind you of heaven. You'll see the altar upon which Christ sacrifices himself eternally for us. And the cathedrals especially, you will see the throne that the bishop or archbishop sits upon, and you'll contemplate his great spiritual authority on this world. But even as you leave the churches, even as you go out into the secular world, when you go to art museums, you'll see that we have been wrestling with Christ through art for 2,000 years. So whether you're looking at Michelangelo or Andy Warhol, who himself was a devout Catholic, you will see that Catholics are out there, and you just can't not see us. If you want to study poetry, you're going to run into Dante Alighieri or Jared Hawkins. Or if you study the sciences, you're going to run into Georges Lemaitre, the great Jesuit priest, the scientist who came to develop the theory of the Big Bang. And as you study Catholicism, as you run into us, there's this temptation, I think, among us Catholics to pat ourselves on the back, to say, look at all these tremendous things we've done. It's also probably what the builders of the Tower of Babel also felt as they constructed their great tower. As probably what the 72 disciples felt when they came back to Jesus and they said, look, like, we even control the demons. We are so powerful. This is great. To which Jesus replies, yes, it is great. And yes, you have power and you have miracles happening through you. But that's not the point. Your joy is not going to be your power. Your joy is going to be the fact that your names have been written in heaven. And so as Catholics, as we think about the great things we've done in history, we think about the many people who are among us, the 1 billion of us, I think it's important to really see that at the heart of this religion is someone who was born in a barn and who worked with his hands and suffered persecution in his life and into his death, and yet who nonetheless changed the world and who gave each of us forgiveness and a new life. As Jesus says, kings and prophets desire to see what we see and to hear what we hear. And so as we go out into the world over this coming week, as we online or in person talk to friends and family about our religion, I think it's just important to not think about the strongest argument or how great we are, but really just to remember that all this is about a relationship we have with a close and loving God, a God who desires our company, a God who desires to be with us, and to remember that we all of us, are God's beloved children. My family, I wish you all have a good weekend, and I hope to see you online or in person at Mass this weekend. May you have a blessed weekend.